Sometimes you gotta do.
Good evening, everybody. It's Monday, October 20th, 2025, and this is a regular meeting of Moscow City Council. Bryce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you're able, please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bryce.
That fails to me.
First item on the agenda tonight is the consent agenda, and this consists of items that have been previously vetted by either the Public Works and Finance or the administrative committees and are largely of routine items. However, any item on the consent agenda can be removed for separate consideration by any member of council.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, Haley,
Aye.
Una,
Aye.
Drew,
Aye.
Julia,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
and Bryce.
Aye.
Okay, there goes the consent agenda. Next up is mayor's appointments, of which I have none. Now this takes us to item 3, which is public comment. And for the next 15 minutes, we invite members of the public to come up to the podium, state your name, where you live, and then you've got 3 minutes to tell us what's on your mind, as long as it's not on tonight's agenda, nor pending before the Planning and Zoning Commission or the Zoning Board of Adjustment. So, any takers for tonight? All right. Excellent. Moving right along, next we come to the approval of Axon Enterprise Incorporated purchase agreement. Chief Anthony Dallinger to present.
Evening, Mayor and Council.
What's the score?
I don't know.
Oh,
Somebody does.
Eagerly preparing to
I
come up
thought
here
you
and
looked
speak.
at your, oh, it was the, never mind. It was the remote.
Well, thank you very much. So came tonight to talk to you about the potential purchase of Axon. So hopefully everybody got the chance to read my memo. Basically, a lot of these items that we've been using for a long time are coming due. And so we've had to kind of come up with a game plan to fix that. So a little background. We as MPD have utilized in-car camera systems for over 20 years, way back when we actually had to put VCR tapes in the trunk in a recorder and then take them out and plug them in. And, yeah.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time. A long way in 20 years, actually. But then we got body cameras around about 12 years ago. When we did that, we were already with for the in-car cameras, but we got our body worn cameras from WatchGuard, which was a standalone company at that time. A few years later, it was purchased by Motorola. So that's why in the memo, I referred to it from Motorola. And then we've also utilized tasers as a less lethal option in use of force instance for many, many years. And the bottom line is the community and society in general seems to have just come to expect that law enforcement is carrying these items and using these items both for transparency, enhancing public safety, and aiding in the prosecution of criminal cases. So the request, we're trying to just replace existing equipment that is at or very near the end of its service life. We are looking to change vendors to Axon, and the reason behind that I can get into probably in some questions, but it would allow us to have one single vendor for all three because Axon is the only one that makes actual tasers. And then the purchase would include a 5-year service agreement for all these items, on-site installation of equipment, all the necessary taser equipment for training and use in the field, and many, many other things. I won't stand here and try to bore you with them all. So comparison. So this is a little bit different than the comparison I originally gave you in the memo. And the reason why is I ended up getting a very last minute quote from Motorola. And you can see there that they changed their price down, and it's very, very close now to the Axon number. So just to let you know, our history with WatchGuard, we've had 12 years with them. We did see some changes, some pretty significant changes when they were bought out by Motorola. Had some hardships, some issues over the years, and so just looking forward into the future. It just appears that Axon is probably going to be the best bet for our city and for our police department. As far as funds, council already knows we've identified one-time purchase funds through the general fund surplus, and then we had that $200,000 reimbursement from Whitcomb. So that's the short and sweet. I'll open it up for questions.
Mr. Mayor, I just was going to add when all my questions were answered during the Public Works meeting last Monday, but Sandra, Julie, and I were discussing, and just it's something that we found to be an interesting topic and wanted to make sure that all of council had the chance to ask questions and our much more crowded audience be here to hear about this update.
I have one question. Sure. And I just can't remember if I asked this last time or not. I know with a lot of our bigger end equipment buys, we also plan ahead. I'm assuming you also do that. Like, I know this is a big purchase now, but we're probably also doing incremental things along the way, so we don't have to do $400,000 or $350 every 5 years. Am I right on that?
Well, I can say that we will be doing that from now on.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that I kind of inherited when I took over. I didn't realize at the time that we had not quite prepared for this end game. And quite frankly, in talking with WatchGuard, I was being told one thing, that, for instance, our body-worn cameras have had a lot of issues. They've been getting older, they're failing, we've had batteries swelling, these types of things. And in speaking with the company, they say, oh no, you're due for what they call basically an upgrade as a part of your plan. And so kind of got me all excited, say, oh great, we've got new cameras coming, that'll get us going for a while. And then come to find out that wasn't the case. We weren't on the right tier of whatever plan, and you know how that goes. So yes, I will definitely be looking in the future, because this will last us for 5 years, but that means I got 5 years to make a plan to make sure that we don't hopefully have this big lump sum again in the future.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just going to add on to that. So in the IS fund, we depreciate every piece of electronic equipment, every computer, every phone, every printer. But there have been 2 areas of equipment that we have not historically done that with, that we have the council and the city has had to tackle. So the radio equipment, the emergency radio equipment, that we just spent $2 million in replacement for both repeaters as well as portable and mobiles. And then so some of the more costly devices that the police department has. So we're going to put that into a depreciation schedule to where we can fund that future replacement when it comes due on the radio system. That'll be probably in the next 10 to 15 years. And then with this equipment, it's probably going to be on that 5 to 7 year cycle.
Thank you.
Julia.
Chief, can you explain for the bigger group the difference between the old tasers and these new tasers? That we did get it in Public Works and Finance, but
Yeah,
it seemed pretty significant.
Sure. Yeah, it's one of those technological advances that just continues to upgrade and continue to improve, almost at the same speed as cell phones and things anymore. I mean, when I first started my career back in the jail, they were the size of a brick, and they actually were run off of, I think, 8 AA batteries inside of them, and they weren't nearly as effective. The technology itself is pretty much the same. What you're trying to achieve is what's called neuromuscular incapacitation. So it delivers electricity in a way that it makes people that they can't move, basically. So that we have that opportunity to come in, put them in handcuffs without having to physically fight them, those types of things. So that has just continued to get more and more improved. These newest tasers, these Taser 10s, have gone from traditionally in the unit you would have 2 probes that would eject upon a trigger pull. Now they have 10 available, but only 1 fires per trigger pull. And the reason why I think they've started going to this, not that I'm an Axon expert, is that over the years we've shown that we'll have times where we won't have a good connection and we won't achieve that neuromuscular incapacitation. So then we are forced to go use physical force sometimes. This allows you 10 opportunities to get that connection. So if you could imagine that connection when you flip on a light switch, those 2 ends have to meet for the electricity to work correctly. Same situation there.
And sorry, I should have asked you ahead of time. So if you don't know, it's fine. But how often are tasers really used in Moscow?
Luckily, not too often. We've had, I think we've had, just in the last 6 months, I think we've had 2 deployments. But that's actually kind of rare.
And you guys keep records of that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything is recorded.
Gina?
I have a customer service question for you. Do you feel like between Axon and
Watch guard.
WatchGuard or whatever it turned into, talk to me a little bit about the fact that, oops, you're ready for an upgrade, but really you're not, tell me
Well,
about the improvement we're making there.
Sure, and I don't want to sound too negative, but I
Nope,
mean,
nope.
we have had issues with customer service in the past few years, and even since I've taken over this position, there've been some times where I've sent out emails asking some questions, and it could be up to 2 weeks, if ever, that I get a
Wow.
response. It's been lackluster, for lack of a better term. And granted, we haven't entered into this agreement with Axon so far, and they've been in the sales mode, but they've been absolutely fantastic to work with. And I did my due diligence. I've got a lot of connections in law enforcement around the country. And so
Yeah.
I put out feelers to a lot of my connections and said, hey, who's got Axon? Who's got WatchGuard? Who's got utility? What do you think of these folks? Give me some ins and outs. And it was a resounding approval for Axon. And even our neighbors to the south in Lewiston have gone to them. We went down and did a demonstration with them
good.
and got to see everything. They loved it.
And if you would, if I could have another
Sure.
question. It's now Axon for tasers, in-car cams, and body
Correct.
cams. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Bryce?
Just a curiosity question, Chief. What do you all do with the old tasers and the old equipment as you phase in the new equipment?
So a couple different options. For the very old ones, they really have no value. They get surplus, or we can turn them back into taser for destruction, those types of things. If they're still being somewhat used, as far as the company will support them, there's opportunities for me to reach out to some smaller agencies around the state that could use those, and we could surplus them over to them for use until, of course, they age out.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
I feel emotion coming on, but I got to take my glasses off because I forgot my readers. So I move that we approve the purchase agreement with Axon Enterprises and the associated NASPO participation resolution.
Second. Oh,
It's okay.
Gina can have it.
There you go. Okay, Haley,
Aye.
Drew,
Aye.
Gina,
Hi.
Sandra,
Aye.
Bryce,
Aye.
and Julia.
Aye.
All right, go shopping, chief.
Thanks, you owe me a soda.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, next item is low to moderate income LMI randomized community survey report. Elisa Anderson, our statistical guru tonight.
These screens, I love these.
I do too.
So much nicer.
Staring at that big
And
stupid
everything.
thing.
Messed up to
Oh. It's terrible.
Audiovisual specialist.
This happens to me no matter what I do.
Sound system's working well tonight.
We sound great.
I know, I feel that.
So you must have really broken or hurt something.
While we're having a moment, should anyone care, Seattle is up 3-1 at the top of the seventh.
On top of the seventh.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sandra.
Sure, you bet.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, Elisa, take it away.
Good evening, council and mayor. I'm here to give you a bit of an update on my prior request to go ahead and move forward with a low to moderate income survey. So I'll just start out going back and doing a bit of a review of where we started from, since we have new people here tonight. Over the past 30 years, the city of Moscow has been designated as 51% or greater low to moderate income. And that is qualifies us to be able to apply for the Idaho Department of Commerce, Idaho Community Development Block Grants. And that money originates from HUD. And what that means is that the household income is 80% less than the median county income. And that comes from the surveys that are done on the 10-year basis. And when we got the information back effective October 1st or August 1st in 2024, the American Community Survey showed that the city of Moscow was at 50.9, and they don't round. HUD does not allow rounding. So it was just below the threshold that would allow us to apply for a citywide or an area-wide project, and they bring that to the specific because we still would be eligible to apply for limited clientele such as affordable housing. Previous projects that we've had funded with this type of grant money is the 1912 Center West Wing. We've had half of 2 fire engines funded, restrooms at Indian Hills, which is pictured here, and the remodel of the Mountain View restrooms. And then also years ago, Friendship Square was redone with this type of money. So to begin the process of going out to do these surveys, we presented to you before, we did a comprehensive public outreach campaign. The city did a press release. We have information on the city website, all city user email. We tabled at the market, utility billing. We sent emails out to commission, and Corey's been doing updates on Facebook. We've got things up on bulletin boards all over campus and city, and also on the transit stops and the buses. So the status of where we started, we mailed out 371 surveys on September 22nd. In that was a prepaid postage envelope with a letter from the mayor and also the survey. And on the mayor's letter, there was a QR code where people could scan that with their phone, and it would take them directly to a city website link where they could answer the survey by entering their individual family unique ID numbers. So every survey that was mailed out had a unique ID number, and that's linked directly to the address. So we had no one's names included in any of this. The mailings went out in an envelope, and they all just looked like this and said resident on them. So, and we had the way for the people to answer them online, which has worked out pretty well. So the Department of Commerce requires that we have at least a 75% response rate. So that's 278 surveys. And I just wanted, I added this slide from before because this kind of just shows if you have one person in your household, the household income is $53,550, and the answer would be, are you above or below this number? So a family of 2 and a family of 3 and a family of 4 is there. So that was just kind of showing a little more information on what the household limit or the household size limits were for those incomes. On October 1st, we mailed out a reminder postcard to everyone. And Jennifer Fleshman was able to mail merge and have the unique ID number for each one, that people that had not submitted their surveys yet on there, and they could again just scan that QR code or find their blue envelope and mail it in. On October 8th, we did a last chance survey again with the unique ID code and the QR code. And we did get quite a few more in after that. So, and where we are right now, we mailed out the 371. We need 278. And we currently have 118 in. About 45 of those have been the online answering, and 75 or so have been through the mail, returned in the mail. So right now, we still need 160. That's a 32% response rate. And right now, our low to moderate income is running at about 44%. So our next step, we're on right about on October 17th, we started doing door-to-door surveys. If you came home and you had one of these on your door, please scan the QR code. It says we will be coming back. So we're working on that process. We have several of them to do in the next 3 weeks. We're finding that no one's really home during the day at all. So we've left a lot of door hangers, and we did have some responses this morning from door hangers that were put out last week. So that was good. So we'll continue to do that. We're going to put together a staffing plan to do the evening and weekends coming up. And our goal is still to get everything finished up before Thanksgiving, but our deadline is December 5th to have everything into the Department of Commerce. So we do have a little more time, all through the month of November to continue to do that. We've had about 10 surveys returned in the mail that the address was undeliverable. So then we went through the mailing process again on those. And I think we've had 3 where people have just said, I don't want to answer, I refuse. So then we can go to the next address on our list. So we originally drew 500 addresses with unique ID codes. So that's where we are now. And we'll just keep moving forward and we'll give you an update when we're done. But I'm here to answer any questions anyone might have. Okay,
Good luck out there.
just keep
Yeah.
encouraging everybody you meet or see. If you got the blue envelope or you got the door hanger, they will come back.
I've got one question, Mr. Mayor. How much time, kind of in the evenings and on the weekends, are you all planning to allocate, or are you still working on the strategic plan for the door knocking?
We figured it out that we needed to get 5 or 6 a day to get done by our 2 teams,
Okay.
get 5 or 6 a day to get done by the deadline. I was able to do with just door hangers, probably 10 of them in 2 hours, but I had, we made a map that saturates addresses together of those. And then, so we had a group of like 20 of them that were in the apartment, 2 apartment complexes or at the Grover. So our GIS person she's really good at that. So she ran maps for us, concentrated the addresses, and then Jennifer was able to just pull those out of the list. And so we're doing that, trying to work the concentrated areas first. And I will say, if we go back, we've left them a door hanger, we don't get a response, and we go back again and we don't get a person, then we can mail out to the next address. So we have some time to still get more out.
And quick follow-up, and I appreciate that. If you don't meet the 75% rate, excuse me, where does this leave us next?
It would not be a valid survey then.
Right.
But we'll keep pushing as far as we can up until the deadline where we have to submit a final report. And hopefully we can get there.
Okay.
Our goal is really to get all these, get our quota in before Thanksgiving, before the students leave. Because I think really a lot of the students don't get actual mail at a mailbox, or if they do, they don't check it. And so those are probably a lot of the ones that we aren't getting back. I've noticed a lot of them are apartments and in student saturated areas. So
And they're the most important ones to get for the
They really
purposes
are,
of the
yeah.
survey.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to reiterate, like, it says resident on purpose because this is an anonymized survey, right?
Yes, yes,
So-
yes. And so, our mailing list didn't have names on it. We don't have the names of the people, so it is completely anonymous.
And they won't be collected during door knocking. The whole point is just,
Yeah,
Data.
I was successful in finding one gentleman home on Friday, and he said, "Oh, it's blue." And I was holding this on, when I knocked on the door, and he's like, "Oh, I think I've got 3 things for you."
Yeah.
It's over with now. So he was like, "Sure." So, I don't know if they see me at the door with my blue envelope, they might not answer. I don't know. But please, if you're watching tonight, do answer. So,
Good work.
any other questions? Okay, thank
Okay,
you very much.
thank you, Elisa.
Elisa.
Thank you. Okay, next up is council reports. And for those of you who want to get to the game, if you keep your report shorter, you get to go sooner. Julia.
Public Works and Finance Leadership. Tomorrow I have Human Rights Commission. Met with Jenny Kostroff at the 1912 Center and went to the Palouse Land Trust fundraiser. How's that?
Very good, well done. It wasn't haiku, but it works.
looks.
Drew.
Pass. I'm just kidding. So we, leadership meetings, and then also farmers market. Those folks are just kind of busy getting things ready. I'm going through their bylaws and reevaluating some questions that came up during market, and very invigorating conversations. And I always learn a lot, and they're very engaged. So that was good. For Mura, the shortest meeting I've never been a part of because I showed up 2 minutes late and it was done. And so I missed that one, but I didn't think it was going to happen. But they just had to approve kind of budget stuff for the end of the year. So their next meeting that we have will be kind of diving into some details for 6 and Jackson. And then for the, historic preservation, great meeting. They were talking about all the different orchid awards. I also are hoping we're going to do onion awards. That's traditionally how it has gone. I'd love
Well,
to
not
be-
here. It hasn't been traditional.
Not here, but it's. I would like to welcome that tradition. But we're not. And so the orchids they voted on it. It'll be great, and come out to the event on the 13th. So
7 o'clock, 1912
Yeah.
Center.
7 o'clock, 1912 Center. It'll be good information, and that's all I have at this time.
Okay, Sandra.
We did have to approve the consent agenda at Mura so we could get everything sent out. And I will say about the atomic clock, Drew was late by 4.5 minutes. It was the fastest meeting ever, but that's why we had to have it. I'm grateful to get that done. I have fire coming up in a week and a half, I think. I gave a cemetery tour of the Historical Society yesterday. We're in the midst of planning alternative giving market of the Palouse. You should see flyers out on that soon. There was something else that was going on and I can't remember what it was city-wise, and that's what I have this week.
Spooky season in the cemetery.
No, I don't do ghost tours.
Yeah.
Nope.
Gina.
See, now there's 80 or 90 questions, but I'm not asking them.
That's really nice of you.
I will tell you that I love my Mariners and I have no reports.
Oh, wow.
Zero. Really.
Okay, Bryce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll move quick. Last Wednesday, I attended the Association of Idaho Cities District meeting at the Best Western for most of the day. Always informative and helpful to collaborate and get to chat with other cities and also hear what's going on. Tuesday, had the Moscow Arts Commission continuing to discuss public art at East City Park, but we also started a conversation about public art at the police station in honor of Officer Newbill. So that's a new conversation that we're going to continue to have over the next many meetings and many months. I think you forgot that we gave out candy at the homecoming parade.
We did, yes, thank you.
So we were.
And the Idaho cities.
That's
But
right,
yes,
yeah.
Homecoming was fabulous.
Yeah, so Sandra and I, along with the mayor, walked with the city float and handed out a lot of candy and made a lot of kids very happy. It is a very, very thrilling day to walk that 6 blocks. And then this week I have Sustainable Environment Commission tomorrow. And then I'm going to a leadership breakfast this Friday that we were all invited to, but it starts at like 7:30 or 8. So that's why I'm going to attend. Because I can make those. 7 a.m.ers are tough. Those 30 extra minutes matter, I tell you.
Oh, boy.
I got.
Okay, Haley.
I'll keep it short too. My only 2 plugs are I've got a PBAC. I had a PBAC meeting on Thursday, and you'll hear some of those updates at the water forum if you choose to attend. It is in Pullman on October 28th. Yep, from 3 to 7 p.m. at the event center. And they're doing some really cool work with a graduate student at U of I focused on getting some well samples of folks who are outside of the city water system. So we're noodling on some similar outreach approaches. And I may be borrowing some of what Elisa Steve has put together to get consent to do some of those data tracking things. And I've got Parks and Rec on Thursday at 5:15, and that's all I've got.
Wow. Yeah, in addition to the Water Summit coming up on the 28th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. over at the Schweitzer Center over in Pullman, we had the AIC district meeting out at the Best Western, always informative. And on the 11th was homecoming, starting off with the fire department's fundraiser by way of a pancake feed, always entertaining to go to. If you haven't had a chance to donate, they're not closing the doors. You can still donate. Send some money to your volunteers. They're the ones that do a good work of keeping our insurance rates very low for a city this size for your fire insurance. Of course, followed that with the disaster of a football game, but we won't talk about that any further.
Put it lightly, Mr. Mayor.
On the 15th was the Campus Community Coalition, which is being revived from its closure just about the time COVID hit. And so it's being worked on to be revived. And the aim of this one is to work between the campus and the rest of the community, the judiciary system, the police on drug and alcohol intervention strategies.
What was that called, Mr. Mayor? I'm sorry.
What, the Campus Community Coalition?
Oh, thank you.
On the 22nd, coming up this Wednesday, League of Women Voters, 7 o'clock to 8:30 for the Moscow Candidate Forum. And the league has changed things a little bit and truncated a half hour from the candidates for city government and made 8:39 a further forum for the cemetery and school district candidates. So 1912 Center, 7 o'clock. I suggest getting there early because the room is small. Interest is great.
Can I add one thing to
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
In addition to it, parking issues, there's also a concert going on at the high school. So if you really don't want to have to walk a lot, I would be there early.
I didn't know about the concert, but yeah. And let's see, and this coming up this Friday is the U of I leadership events all day long at the university.
Can I add it? There is also another forum on Friday afternoon from 3 to 4,
That's right.
just an hour, at the New Art is the new St. Andrews
Oh, yeah.
Candidate Forum. And then there is a reception afterwards, 4 to 5, at the Pierian, what used to be the Pritchard, downtown, the Pierian. So again, get there early. I would recommend going to the 1912 Center and not wearing as many layers because it's hot in there when you're packed in with your, 3,000 of your closest friends.
Okay,
I move we adjourn.
well, not yet.
Ah.
Checking with staff. Staff says nothing. Okay, now you can.
Staff says go Mariners. Got it.
Sandra moves adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.